Every day at work, I brought the same thing for lunch, a homemade meal packed neatly with my name written right on top, and every day it kept disappearing. At first I thought maybe I misplaced it, or someone grabbed it by mistake. But when it kept happening for 2 weeks straight, I knew someone was stealing it on purpose. I reported it to HR, but they laughed it off and told me it was not a serious issue. They said maybe I should start labeling my food better. I was already doing that. They did nothing, so I decided to handle it myself. I set a plan. It had to be something that proved exactly who the thief was, and something they could not talk themselves out of. So the next morning, I packed a perfectly normal-looking lunch. Then inside the container, I added a bright blue edible dye used for baking. It was completely harmless, but it stained anything it touched and stayed for hours. I mixed it deep into the sauce so no one could see it until they took a bite. Then I put my lunch in the fridge and waited. Around noon, the office suddenly went silent. People whispered. Someone gasped at the printer. Then I saw him, our smug coworker Mark, walking out of the break room with his entire mouth, hands, and shirt stained a glowing blue. He looked like a human highlighter. He tried to act normal, but everyone was staring because the dye was impossible to hide. My manager pulled him aside, and 10 minutes later, HR called an emergency meeting. They checked the cameras, which they claimed never worked, but suddenly worked perfectly. And there he was opening my lunch every single day. When they confronted him, he tried to say he thought the food was free, but the container was clearly labeled with my name in huge letters. They had no choice. He was fired on the spot for theft and for lying to HR. Before he left the building, he glared at me like I had ruined his life. But honestly, he did that to himself. All he had to do was stop stealing lunch that did not belong to him. After that, no one ever touched my food again. In fact, people started guarding the fridge like it was a treasure vault because they knew I was not the person to mess with anymore. That is how the office lunch thief picked the wrong person and lost everything in one bite.